feel terrible. Terrible.
Las Vegas, city of lights, city of dreams. But for Lewis Hamilton, it became the city where everything collapsed. Saturday night, the rain falls, the SF-25 slides, and the 7-time world champion finishes dead last in qualifying. Not because of a penalty, not because of a mechanical failure, just last. For the first time in nearly 2 decades of racing, Lewis Hamilton couldn't escape the bottom. But here's what nobody saw coming: the radio leak that exposed the truth. Because this wasn't just a bad weekend. This was the moment Hamilton realized Ferrari might never be what he thought it would be. Rewind to Wednesday. Before the engines roared, before the chaos began, Ferrari president John Elkann breaks his silence with a statement so brutal it echoes through the entire paddock. Our mechanics are winning the championship with their pit stops, but our drivers are not up to the task. A public slap, a warning, a challenge. Hamilton responds with calm. Almost too calm. He tells the media he has a great relationship with Elkann, that there's harmony within the team, but you could see it in his eyes, the pressure was mounting. Then comes Friday, free practice. And for the first time all season, Hamilton feels alive.
What happened with the strategy? I thought we were looking good at one point.
Yeah, we need to look into that second thing, or balance, or car. We check.
The car rotates naturally through the slow corners. The balance is there. The grip is real. He radios in, the car feels awesome. Finally, Ferrari had given him something he could fight with. The British press writes headlines about his rebirth. The paddock buzzes with optimism. Even Hamilton himself admits,
I'm standing here stronger than I feel like I've ever been.
he believes this weekend could be special, but that was just the start. Because what happened next changed everything. Saturday arrives, the sky opens, rain pours down on the Las Vegas Strip, and the SF-25, the car that felt so perfect just hours earlier, becomes a nightmare.
I was just struggling to generate the heat in the tires for some reason, and
The tires won't warm up. The brakes crystallize, the grip vanishes. Hamilton hits a cone at turn 14. It lodges under his front wing, destroying his aerodynamics mid-lap. Yellow flags wave at turn 17. He has to lift. Another chance gone. Then comes the final attempt. His last shot to avoid disaster. He crosses the timing line with 1 second to spare. Enough time for one more lap. But as he speeds down the straight, he sees red lights on the gantry above. He thinks the session is over. He lifts. His engineer screams over the radio, "Keep pushing! Keep pushing!" But it's too late. Hamilton has already aborted. And this is where the story gets dark. The timing sheets flash across the screens. P20 dead, last. For the first time in his entire career, Lewis Hamilton qualifies at the bottom without a penalty or breakdown.
it's a shame because the guys did such a great job. The car was feeling awesome in P3.
The paddock falls silent. Sky Sports' Jensen Button is blunt. Hamilton lost focus. He didn't understand which timing line was active. That can't happen at this level. Former strategist Bernie Collins defends the team. They told him to push, they gave him the information. But if the driver hesitates and lifts, the lap is lost. But here's the twist nobody expected. The red lights Hamilton saw, they weren't the session-ending lights, they were the pit lane closure lights. A visual trap, a miscommunication, a split-second mistake that destroyed everything. And while Hamilton sat in his garage, head down, Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli, starting from the same area of the grid, qualified in the top 5. The comparison was painful, because it wasn't just about one bad lap anymore. It was about whether Hamilton and Ferrari were ever truly aligned. Sunday, race day, the lights go out, Hamilton fights. He climbs, he gains 10 positions. But the leaked radio after crossing the line reveals the raw truth. His voice carries that sharp mix of disbelief and fury. What happened with the strategy? How did I end up behind P10? We were looking good at one point. How did Mercedes, who were behind me, get ahead? How did McLaren get ahead? His engineer tries to explain, calmly, technically, but Hamilton's tone makes it clear. He doesn't want explanations. He wants answers, because this wasn't just about Las Vegas, it was about the entire season. The tire warm-up issues Ferrari still hasn't solved. The strategy calls that collapse mid-race. The communication breakdowns that keep happening at the worst moments. And then comes the moment that hits hardest. When a reporter asks how he's feeling after the race,
I feel terrible. Terrible.
Hamilton's response is devastating. Terrible. It's been the worst season ever. No matter how much I try, in the car, out of the car, it just keeps going worse. No wins, no podiums, multiple qualifying disasters, a 7-time world champion stuck in the midfield, giving everything and getting nothing back. This wasn't just a race. It was a warning, because the leaked radio didn't just expose Hamilton's frustration, it exposed the disconnect between him and Ferrari, the lack of precision in communication, the failure to anticipate problems before they destroy entire weekends. For a driver who has built his identity on winning, being trapped in this cycle wears down confidence in ways that can't be described publicly. And Ferrari, they find themselves in a delicate position because Hamilton's comments aren't attacks, they're warnings. He's signaling that the team needs to evolve faster, communicate clearer, anticipate better. The frustration with his engineer wasn't personal. It was a symptom of a system that still isn't aligned with his needs. There's also the emotional weight of the Ferrari badge itself. Every poor session becomes a headline. Every difficult race becomes a narrative. Every mistake becomes a public talking point. When you're the face of Ferrari, you carry responsibility, even when the tools aren't good enough. And now, the paddock's biggest fear is becoming reality. What if a driver of Hamilton's caliber begins to lose faith? What if the 7-time champion who came to rebuild Ferrari realizes the project isn't ready? Scenario 1. Hamilton digs deeper. Ferrari fixes the communication. The tire issues get solved. And by next season, they're back in the fight for victories. Scenario 2. The frustration continues. The results don't improve. And Hamilton begins to question whether this final chapter of his career will end in disappointment rather than glory. Scenario 3. Ferrari panics. Internal pressure mounts. Changes are made mid-season. And the team structure that's supposed to support Hamilton crumbles under the weight of expectations. 3 possible futures, only one will become reality. Has Ferrari given Hamilton a car he can never truly master? Or is this just the painful beginning of a rebuilding process that will eventually deliver? One thing's certain, Las Vegas wasn't just a bad weekend. It was the moment the dream collided with reality. And the next race won't just be about points. It'll be about whether Hamilton still believes. If you made it this far, you already know this season's not about who's fastest, it's about who survives the pressure. So tell me, can Hamilton and Ferrari still turn this around? Or are we watching a legend's final chapter unravel in real time?